Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in the beginning, it's basically down to parents, to your family, to what their interests are, to how much they want to support their child and everything. And my parents, they were supporting me a lot, and financially and any other way. And it was until when I was 18, 19, also 20 years, I was basically. It was all about them helping me, and I will. But okay, when you turn 19, 20, you get out of the juniors, when you start to be a pro, then it's going all the time. It's leaning towards you being on your own and trying to finance yourself as best as possible. And when you reach a certain level, challengers are always you're still not earning as much as you are spending for all the costs and everything. But yeah, if you're doing good, top 150, top 100, then you're on your own, and you don't need you don't need your parents' support. Okay, my parents, they're still supporting me like mentally, and they still want to know what's going on with me and everything. But yeah, I think it's a good relationship I have with the parents.
So we're here with Grega Zemlja, ranked. What is your ranking now?
61.
61 in the world. And when you started out, did you play futures or you went straight to challengers?
Yeah, I think every player needs to start with futures first, and I did that as well. And when I was 18 until I was 20, 21, it was all futures.
Okay.
I didn't play one challenger, I think, until then.
And that's mostly when your parents were helping out.
Yeah, that's yeah. You don't get sponsors. You don't get I don't know, some extra money that would fall out of the sky. But yeah, so it's down to parents.
There's really no money to be made in futures.
No.
Even if you win the tournament.
Even if you win the tournament, singles and doubles, if you put down all the costs, coaches' costs and everything, you're still not earning much.
Right. So if you don't have parents who are able to help you out, it's probably pretty difficult.
It's
financially.
Very difficult. I think it's close to impossible to do that without them.
And do you know? No names, but have you ever come across players that have been in that situation where their parents just can't help them out and it's difficult?
I know a few players who didn't have that help from the parents. Not because parents wouldn't want to do them, but simply because they didn't have the funds to do that. So yeah.
And did that affect their ability to move up in their careers?
Yeah, of course. Tennis, to be financially covered, of course you need finances to improve your trainings, to improve, to have a good coach, to have a good preparation, to have good sparring partners, to be in a good club, to travel to the tournaments and everything. And yeah, without that, you're just not improving, even if you're trying your best.
And even if you're very talented.
Even if you're very talented.
Right. So you said you're now ranked in the 60s. Where were you ranked before that? Were you ranked in the 300s, the 200s? Were you ever in that range, or did you go straight up?
No, I was in almost every range. Okay, I started with being 600 1 or 2 years, because the first points I got was when I won a future, so it was basically quite a big leap to 600, and then I was there for 2 years. Then I went to 300, and then I was, I think, stuck 3 to 4 years at 300. When I was getting better at the challenger level, when I got up to 150, and I was between 160 and 110 for another 2 or 3 years, and now again I jumped from 110 to 60 in quite a short period of time, and so I've been in, I think, all stages, in future stage, in challengers, and now in in this ATP stage.
So when you were in you said you spent a few years in the 300s and then another few years in the 100s.
Yeah.
When you're in the 300s, do you have enough? Do you still need more financial support? Are you able to bring a coach with you everywhere, or are you still not making enough? What is it like in the 300s?
Yeah, it's still very tough to because basically you're not playing challengers all the time. If you want to do them, you have to play qualies. For qualification, you don't have the accommodation. You need to coach to be with you more time. So it's again more expensive and everything. So you're still not fine. You're still not covered. So I think for challenger you need to be 250 to start playing more often the challenger level.
All right, so you're in the 300s. You're still not making enough to really survive. Say you get up to 150 to 100. Now you're obviously doing better. What is it like there financially in that range for a player?
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's still good to have some sort of help financially, to have maybe a sponsor or maybe a guy who is interested in you, who would I don't know, invest in you. It is possible, but okay. I think for if I'm comparing to the Slovenian market and everything, it's almost impossible to have I don't know, sponsors or something when you are at 150 or something. But,
so if you're like 150 and you do find someone who wants to give you, help you out with some money, what would you use that money for? What would that be used for?
It's 100% you have to invest it back in tennis. So when you I don't know, when you get some help, you invest money into your coach, to all the gear you need for tennis, stringer. You could use a mental coach, fitness coach, physiotherapist, the guy who do massages for you. So it's so many things that help you, and so many things where you can spend the money. It's like everywhere in life, basically.
Right, so there's always somewhere to spend it, but it's all on things that could help you improve?
Exactly, and they 100% do improve. Even though if just for a few percent, it's still, it adds to the general knowledge you have. And also nutritionists is also getting very important in tennis. They can help you out as well.
Right, so and it's so competitive that even a small advantage is a big deal.
Of course, yeah. I think players are looking to find any I don't know, any gaps in all sorts of things related to tennis, and everybody's looking to add percentage to their game.
Right. And now, needless to say, you're in the 60s in the world. I would think things are a lot better now.
Yeah, I think I always had the dream to be top 100, to be on my own, to be covered, to be actually calm in some way, not to worry about who is gonna support you. Of course, it's a lot easier to get sponsors, to attract people, to help you and everything. So yeah, now it's basically a really, it's fun to be here, to be at this level, and it's always good to be somewhere where you always wanted to be at the top of that game.
And maybe less pressure financially. You don't have to think about some things that you had to worry about before.
I think players who are playing for money, for I don't know, surviving, as I would say, and the guys who don't have that pressure, it's already a big difference.
It helps you. You can actually play better when you don't have to have that worry.
100% sure.
Right. So part of getting to where you are today started with having the support of your parents, the financial support of your parents, way back when you were 18, 19 years old.
No, I think it starts already way before that. Yeah. Also, when you start with your game of tennis, you already need to basically have some kind of support from your parents or from anybody, from association, from the club, anybody. And it's really valuable to, you know, to until you're 18 to already have a some kind of strategy or game that you develop after that as well. So it's all the steps are really important.
Right. So since it's so important to have financial support along the way, along with everything else, you are very familiar with InvolvedFan.com and the idea that InvolvedFan.com wants to help the athletes get the financial support. What do you think of that idea?
No, I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's the way. I think nobody was really doing something in that way, even though it seemed possible. But if fans in some way they are always there for you, they are supporting the tennis matches. But in some way they cannot get to you because players are all the time, I don't know. Okay, they see each other on court, but apart from that, I think it's these two levels are quite separated, and it's tough for the fans to get to the players. But I think with InvolvedFan.com, it makes it easier, and it's a really good idea. Yeah.